And sun worshipers, this is George McClellan. BKP is not here today because he's attending to filial duties, a funeral, unfortunately. But once again, it's time for Karla's Corners, and she's our chamber representative. Comes in every Friday morning at this hour to update us on what's cool and happening in the town.
Do you get paid to pick up Brian's slack? Or you do that for
Actually,
free?
I don't.
You might want to renegotiate your contract.
Why is that?
Because Brian could just call you on job. Hey, George, why don't you cover my show for me?
I'm happy to do it. You know, no retired
You're
guy
a good man.
No retired guy like, well, I'm having fun. And there's things happening here in our country, in our state, in our laws that require illumination. People want to get on with their lives, and they do not want to be bothered with trivia and the little things that affect them until it's too late. Laws are passed, and suddenly here's somebody wondering what the hell happened. So if I don't tell them in advance, or Brian, if we don't, make an effort to at least tell people in advance what's happening, then it's too late.
Gotta make educated decisions.
I read something right here. This is the Thomas Jefferson quote. I love Thomas Jefferson. Where did he say that the laws often within the limits of the law? We hear that term, within the limits of the law, because law is often but the tyrant's will, and always so when it violates the right of an individual.
That's heavy. That's too heavy for Friday morning.
Yes, it is. But if I don't say it, who's going to know? And I thank Rich for pointing that out to me. Rich is one of our viewers up there in Blue Ridge. Good man.
Awesome.
Got a lot of good stuff. Well, go ahead with your presentation and tell us about Gilmore Arts. I see on that piece of paper there.
Yep, Gilmore Arts. The last best series is next weekend. Barrage 8. It is a memorable presentation of music from many genres and cascading generations delivered in a way not seen or heard before. My understanding is they've come before. Like this,
they have. They've been here before.
Yes.
And I can tell you there's more energy in this group of musicians. They play violins, and I think one of them has a guitar.
Yeah.
But they dance when they do it, and they're mobile, and the music just, instead of starting out with a slow a slow tune, they hit you immediately with strathspeys and reels and dancing tunes with violins. I tell you what, it's wonderful stuff. It's
good. This is the last one, so we want everybody to go. It'll be next Saturday, 7:30. Visit GilmoreArts.org, or you can call Gilmore Arts. They can get you tickets. You can also visit our website, GilmoreChamber.com, and we have the information on our calendar of events to
What's
click
the ticket cost?
It's not on this, but I've got it on here. Hold on. Let's see here. I believe it depends on if you buy them at the door or not.
It's a couple of bucks more at the door.
Yeah, it's a couple bucks more at the door.
The last one they had a couple of weeks ago was the Cherish the Ladies, sold out. You couldn't walk up to the door and buy a ticket.
Yeah, it did.
That was an Irish ladies Irish band, and they've been here before, and I've seen them at other venues, Stone Mountain Highland Games. I think they were there one time years ago, and they were the original group were all daughters of the Clancy band members and other performing Irish singers from years ago, who are all old now and retired or passed on. But these women, they fire up the audience just like the barrage will. So if you like make your blood run, I'll tell you what. And run.
Buy tickets here.
Yep.
Let's see here.
So what do we got? I guess if you have to ask, you can't afford it, right?
It's $27 for regular ticket. If you're a member, it's $24.30. If you're a member of Gilmore Arts.
Is there a price at the door?
They didn't list one on their website.
$27, but
I think it's $30 at the door. I think it goes up like $3 at the door.
It's money well spent for an entertainment that's absolutely out of this mind. And as long as we're talking about Gilmore Arts, might as well talk about the coming venue. Gilmore Arts has purchased a building, and they're building a theater, an operating theater in it for such programs. I think
the George, I can't remember the last name, George something Playhouse.
Lucas, is it? Well, anyway,
Yeah.
it's a playhouse, and so we're going to get a lot of cultural activities up here in the mountains. That is necessary. People are moving up. The population is expanding a little bit. So
We didn't just.
It's 29 at the door.
29 at the door.
Yep.
So $2 at the door. So go see it. I'll tell you what.
And we held our network luncheon at Gilmer Arts yesterday. And Senator Gooch was our speaker for an end of session wrap up.
Mm-hmm. And what did Senator Gooch have to say that was different? He told you how good he was, right?
No, actually, it wasn't about him.
Oh.
It was just about a wrap up of a lot of questions that people have asked him. Why hasn't this been done? Why y'all passed this, but yet it's not been signed by deal, that kind of thing.
Sure.
And he's like, I just want to answer some of those questions because that seems to be what I'm asked the most. And he spoke on some of the projects that are coming to fruition in Gilmer County, and he spoke on some things that didn't get through session this time.
What Gilmer projects are coming to fruition that the state's interested in? It has to be highways.
Yeah, it was roads being paved. He named off some of the ones that are,
Is Tails Creek one of them?
I don't remember.
I'll tell you why. When I first
There was a lot of them to keep up with.
When I first moved up here 16 years ago, Tails Creek was in bad shape at Highway 76.
It is.
And then
yeah.
almost right after we moved here, machines came in there and scraped off the top in some areas, and that was 16 years ago, and it's still like that.
My understanding is that now that you're saying that, it's all coming back because he talked about that, and
Mm-hmm.
yes, they are fixing that one. That's one of the first ones.
Well, that's good. That's particularly riding it on a motorcycle when you get to the where the asphalt has been scraped off and it leaves those little grooves.
Yeah.
It's like riding over an iron bridge on a river.
You ride motorcycles?
Oh, well, of course I do. No, just one.
Just one?
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine you doing more than one at a time.
Yeah, it's awful. Very difficult. Like circus performers on two horses, it just don't work. No, I'll tell you what. I love riding my motorcycle. I learned to ride a motorcycle when I was on the California Highway Patrol back in the '60s.
Wow.
But I saw that was very, very dangerous, so I did not pursue being a speed cop.
I was gonna say you get on the freeway.
Yeah, no, I didn't do that. I just learned, and then I picked it up a few years later when I lived elsewhere, and now I've gotten me a nice big machine. And the thing I noticed about that machine, I'm not careless, but it's certainly cheaper. 30-minute ride on a motorcycle is certainly cheaper than going to a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
It focuses your attention.
My
and your
stepdad would agree with that.
And your thought processes. And, I'm not speeding down the road. I don't want to outrace anybody, but I want to get from point A to point B and feel the air, cold or hot, I don't care, but get it and enjoy it. And then you just chill out.
It's more cost efficient to ride a motorcycle instead of a car.
Yeah.
The sun's out and it's beautiful, but better to hop on that motorcycle.
You cannot beat it. Well, you're talking about traffic, and I've never seen it or heard it. I came up this morning early so I could sit in for Brian, and immediately ran into a traffic jam at the middle school on Old Highway 5 South.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's a big problem. Now either they have to widen that, or put a stoplight on Legion Road, or my solution is figure in and build a roundabout at the entrance to the middle school. Why? I know people come out of the middle school and they cannot turn left.
They go turn down in the baseball fields.
They go right and then turn into the baseball fields to come back out so they can go north again on Old Highway 5. And then you have people coming out of Legion Road, some of it's school traffic as well.
Yeah.
And then you have people wanting to turn into Legion Road, and it's really a mess.
I bypass all of that.
Well, I should have done today because it just irked me to get stuck behind. There's a traffic officer there, a sheriff's deputy or whatever he is with his lights, and then he just stops traffic and lets the flow of traffic this way, and then he'll let 10 cars that way, and then he lets the flow of traffic. It's just not a good traffic thing. I lived in England for 3 years, and I have absolutely become an advocate for roundabouts. Traffic flows.
Have you been on?
It slows.
Do you enjoy the roundabout downtown?
Absolutely. What irks me, there's signs there that say yield. Mm-hmm. And it irks me when people come to a dead stop. Well, the sign says yield. It doesn't say give up. They want you to just, the idea is that you, even slowly, but you keep moving and blend in with the other cars.
If you go down to Canton, where the Cracker Barrel is,
yes,
the exit ramp, it has a sign that literally says, keep moving.
Yes, it does.
It's not yield, it's keep moving.
Yes, it does.
And people stop there.
And people stop. And they do it this roundabout here. But we have to be trained in how these roundabouts. Another place is right over here where 515 meets the road 52.
Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of bridge.
There's a bridge, and then there's, that's a perfect place for a roundabout. And they don't have to remove the bridge. The bridge can feed into a roundabout. Where Arby's or Hardee's is, that could be purchased, and the roundabout could go, and traffic would flow forever, and they would absolutely relieve the problem.
I think you sound like you're interested in being on the DOT commission.
Well, you got to have money, and I don't think they have money for it, or the interest to do it. But to me, that's the cheapest, most effective, efficient way. You don't have to worry about lights.
Yeah.
Lights that stop traffic. As soon as you stop moving traffic, you start creating problems behind you, all the time. 4-way stop on Old Highway 5 South, where the new that little connector road over to 515 and
Howard Simmons.
Yeah, the Howard Simmons Road. Normally that's a fine thing, but in the mornings and the night, when people are coming and going to work, it just plugs up. Absolutely plugs up. And you can just waste all kinds of time. So that is not a shortcut. There's nothing helped by 3
Senator
ways.
Gooch did mention that they are going to start the engineering. That is not my area. DOT and roads is not my area. The engineering for the 382 connector to 515, that will begin this year. They don't estimate actual work being done for 2 years, but that would be, I assume, some saving on that, because those people that just need to get on 515 and go somewhere versus traveling down Old 5 to get to 515, that would probably help out.
There's one other connector that's not too many people know about, except if you've lived here and discovered it, and that's that little road from Old Highway 5 to 515 that comes out at Panorama.
Yeah, I know about that one.
Yeah. Now, if you go straight, you're on a dirt road and go down white down to the mines. That's not a good road to be on. But you turn left, go over the railroad tracks, and you'll come out at Panorama.
There's been some car accidents right there at Orchard Lane, so they've redirected. I got redirected one day, and I was like, oh. Look at that.
Well, you gotta be careful. But a lot of the Flatlanders come up here and they don't understand the driving problems. But anyway, that's.
See, I don't judge. I used to judge the Flatlanders. I used to judge them, but then when I moved to Florida and I couldn't drive down there because I just don't understand. I have to drive 100 feet this way to go around to come back up to turn right.
Oh yeah,
in Florida, you have to go 4 miles out of your way.
Dual carriageways. Yeah,
yes.
Sure.
Pass. Come back to Georgia. I'll take my little 2-lane roads.
We got them here. In fact, they put left turn lanes all along 515 about 4 or 5 years ago. Remember that? You just go down and there's a left turn lane that goes nowhere.
Oh yeah.
They're anticipating growth.
That's smart.
I thought that was smart enough. Yeah. But so what else is the chamber up to now?
We had our network luncheon this week, and next week we're having business connections at my brain just went blank. Hensley CPA, downtown LJ on River Street. All business community is welcome. Doesn't have to be a chamber member. Everybody's welcome to come network. At Hensley CPA, we do it from 4:30 to 6:30, and we give away $250 just for you coming. Drop your card in, and we draw, and we give away $250 just for showing up and networking.
What time?
4:30 to 6:30. We do the drawing at 6.
And where?
Thursday, the 21st, at Hensley CPA in downtown LJ, right off of River Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. We got another. So what else?
We have
The spring is coming on.
spring
Are
is-
there
yep.
are any fairs or
we have
festivals?
Yes, we have Apple Blossom Festival coming up. Apple
Oh.
Blossom Festival is Mother's Day weekend. We have a lot of events going on Mother's Day weekend, so we encourage everybody to make plans to come up. I mean, it's not just Apple Blossom Festival. We have car shows. We have the river cleanup with Carter K River Experience. We have the
Now, who runs
5K.
that? Let me ask. Let's go to that river cleanup. That river cleanup is an important thing to me because last year when we had the heavy rains, the bridge to 515 from Highway 52 was absolutely clogged with logs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all you have to do is look up that river from the bridge, and you can see the potential for that happening again and again and again. Why is there not a program, well, except for the cost of it, of course, of having a barge anchored or pushed by a little flat boat where tree cutters can cut those trees out and eliminate them from flooding.
Now you're
flooding.
getting into
Back to the
Department,
DOT.
yeah, no, not DOT, Department of Natural Resources.
Well, there's dead
You
trees.
don't touch the riverbanks. That's a very sensitive subject.
The Kusawati has trees that I remember that I can see them just slowly starting to come down like that. And as soon as the rain washes the last of the dirt out from the roots, boom, they're going to be
I
inflowing
can
down the
answer a
river.
little bit from the natural resources point of view. Down at River Park,
Yeah.
right where
The sewer
across the river, the soccer fields
Yes,
the
yes,
soccer fields would
yes.
be to the right. There's a huge tree that got washed out and fell over into the river. Well, we were walking through the park, what was it, a week or two ago? Now there's beavers living up in that tree, behind that tree, and then you got the fish that are eating, the ducks are living on it, and it's a whole now, I mean, if you thought somebody come clean that tree up, you'd be out of your mind
It's
because
a new ecosystem.
it
I
is a
understand it.
completely new ecosystem
I
right
got
there.
it. I understand that, and all the little creatures that which proves that the world adapts. Nature
My thing
adapts.
is sure the tree can stay, but all the trash hanging off the tree,
It's got to go.
that's got to go.
Yeah.
But Carter K River Experience, they've organized this river cleanup for years and years. This is a tradition for them, and they clean up the Carter K. They put on the initiative. They have music and food and vendors, and they do a huge event just to get people up here to help clean trash off the river for the Carter K River. So it's a small help, and we appreciate that, and we want people to support that. So
Well, I live in the Kusawati, and I have a walk that I do several times a week. It's 3 miles, almost exactly 3 miles down a road, up a road, over and back to my house in the Kusawati. And I always carry a plastic bag with me and just pick up trash, tin cans, and I can dump it at the mailboxes where there's a trash can at the mailboxes filled with advertising.
yeah, I do. I pick up trash when I walk in River Park because people just don't care.
And every time you walk, you find new trash, new cans, new bottles.
Yep.
Mostly Cokes and things like that. And every once in a while, somebody will throw a trash bag out.
Yeah, that happened. Somebody threw one out on 515.
Well, it could have fallen off a
Oh.
truck, but anyway, I got the point. So what else was going on now? I interrupted that train of thought.
No, that's Mother's Day weekend. Lots of events happening that weekend. The Christian Learning Center is doing their Run for the Sun, their 5K. So we got 5K, car show, Apple Blossom Festival, river cleanup. The Blue Ridge Wine and Jazz Festival will be happening that Saturday evening. So that whole weekend is just event after event, tons of things to do.
Did you go to that last year?
I did not because I do Apple Blossom Festival, so I can't. I'm there late with the vendors and everything, so it's hard for me to get away.
Well, I know my friend Wayne Sloop, who has the 1907 restaurant. He up there supports Ellison, Terry Ellison, who generally runs that, has started that wine and jazz festival. And my wife and I went up there and spent a day. It was a great.
I heard very good things about it.
It
I'm
was,
glad
it
they're
was a
doing
great
it again.
experience. A lot and worth the price of getting in. I think they will tone it up and clean it up. And what I mean to say is they will make it more efficient to get in and out. Not really a good parking experience, but I parked up close, and I shouldn't have done that, but no one said you couldn't, and so I did. So
It's
anyway.
just like every first year event. You've got to learn, and you got to grow, and you got to figure some
Sure.
things out. So
Sure.
that's what
Sure.
they got to do.
But they have some good bands lined up, and Terry Ellison does a great job on it. He's a real promoter for that kind of thing.
He does a great job, and he supports Apple Blossom Festival, and we try to support.
Oh, Terry does?
Yeah, so we in turn support their event. And it's a great compliment because ours is only from 9 to 4, and then theirs is in the evening. So it's kind of complementary to what we do.
We have 4 wineries in our county. A new one, LJ Winery. I haven't seen them up there yet, but Cartier certainly was.
Yep.
And then we have Maitre. They weren't up there, and neither was Ingelheim, but they were just getting,
They had just started,
getting started. So they'll probably be up there as well. Larry Likens, who has the Cartier Winery vineyards, wonderful place. And good product, as a matter of fact. But he's up there dispensing his stuff, and so that's a good event for a
We
Mother's
recently
Day.
had all of our vineyards, including Fain and Goat, which they're actually in Pickens County, but they're part of LJ Wine Country. So we have 5 vineyards that are part of LJ Wine Country.
We include Pickens.
Fain and Goat. And I'm actually going to meet with them today. But we have those 5 vineyards were featured in Great Places magazine recently. As part of a feature on North Georgia vineyards. So we were lucky to have them recognized in that as well.
Well, I remember when Larry Likens first started his plantings. He got a bunch of us. He conned. That's a good word.
He didn't con.
No, that's
He
right.
worked smarter, not harder.
He worked smarter. He got 30 or 40 of his friends, including my wife and I and others, all associated, practically all of us associated with Gilmer Arts, believe it or not. At the time, they called it GAHA. I'm glad they changed the name. But anyway, he had Phil Simmons with a on a tractor with a drill, and Phil went and drilled 1,500 holes in the ground, while the rest of us were on our hands and knees in this muck and mud on a cold day, planting grapevines. To my knowledge, not one of those grapevines has died. And the following year, about 15 of us showed up when he planted another section. And then the year after that, only 2 or 3 of us showed up, and he had to go hire some farm laborers to complete the task. But Larry's done a great job, and that place is on fire. I mean, Larry's got a vision that's, when he says, I think that would be a good idea, then next thing you know, it's done.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it's done. He's a great entrepreneur in the farming business.
He is definitely a gift to Gilmer County. He does a lot for Gilmer County, not just with the farming community, but just volunteering through lots of our programs and supporting kids and youth programs. And so we appreciate Larry.
So we'll see what Maitre comes up with, and Gary Ingelheim. They're expanding. Gary has
great wines over here.
Well, all of them. There's not a bad wine.
There's not such thing as bad wine. It can come in a box and it's good wine.
It's even better, as a matter of fact. I read one time where boxed wine actually is protected from air better than in bottles with corks over a long period.
Why not?
Why not? So anyway, what else we got to talk about? You got any festival? Where's your 2 beautiful little daughters? They're in school today, no doubt.
They are in school today. They are doing milestones testing. We're not going to open up that can of worms and get started on talking about standardized testing. But my oldest is starting milestones testing. She started yesterday or day before yesterday. But we're all about getting up, big breakfast, make sure we wear our glasses, focused, ready to do our test.
You talk about children and what they can accomplish. I'm going to have to say this. The Garden Clubs of Georgia is broken up into 8 or 9 divisions. And one of them is covers most of North Georgia, and which, interestingly, my wife is now the chairman. And she's about ready to leave that. But there was a project called, there was a book called Don't Touch the Frog. And children would read this. It was a contest, and then write a poem. write a piece of poetry. I have an 8-year-old granddaughter who lives in Florida, who happened to be up visiting last summer, read the book, and sat down and wrote a poem. And she has won the Laurel District Award for that poetry. And
That's awesome.
Now she's won, that same poem has won the state award, and pretty soon it'll go into region, which is in Mississippi, and then national. And she gets a little money prize if, as she goes on. And
That's awesome.
I'm suddenly awesomed by the ability of this 8-year-old to sit and write poetry. And she's the busiest little girl I've ever seen in my life. Television is a waste of her time. She has no time for
My
television.
youngest daughter just.
No time for the cartoons. Couldn't care less.
Yeah, my
Could not
youngest
care
is
less.
not interested very much
Not
in TV.
interested. So not all our children are lost out there, and we keep working on it. So anyway, how are we doing for time, Monty? Keep going.
Yep.
Yeah. And
No, we are going to break.
Going to break. Okay.
Yes,
Well, hey,
we
it's
need
time
to
for a
go to
break and see if we can earn for Brian some of that filthy lucre that makes this show run. I like your life.